And I think the problem with social media is we have a lot of business people or influencers or motivating people or life coaches, whatever you want to call them, who've never had to do what we're going to talk about today. They haven't. They'll tell you they did because they don't give a shit. They'll just tell you whatever they want to hear so you can sign up. They've never done it. I mean, we got people that were like, they're like, well, my dad was in the wine business. I'm like, wine? Like, when you grew up poor as shit like me, my mom drank box wine. But I thought all wine came in a box, just so you know. So we lived in our little one-bedroom apartment, my mom, and it would stick to the bottom of the fridge. She'd get a box of wine because I didn't realize it's really, 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 really cheap. And she would, oh, you take the little thing and it puts the wine, but it's like dirt cheap, bottom of the barrel, terrible wine. Guys, welcome to Pick Money, the podcast, episode number 60. If you are deciding or contemplating being an entrepreneur full-time, if you were deciding or contemplating to be a 1099 independent contractor, if you're thinking about leaving your job or you're working with other people that you're recruiting, you're helping, and they're thinking about all of the above, you need to watch this podcast. We're going to have a real, raw, honest discussion today about what that looks like. And by the way, I can give you the advice because I've been there. So this is one of those topics that nobody wants to talk about because everybody's answer is you'll hear people on social media literally scream, you should just quit your job overnight and everybody else should like F off. Okay, dude, but your dad was rich. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to mean like daddy gave you a job, daddy gave you a business. You didn't really quit anything. You're not qualified to give that advice. And I think the problem with social media is we have a lot of business people or influencers or motivating people or life coaches, whatever you want to call them, who've never had to do what we're going to talk about today. They haven't. They'll tell you they did because they don't give a shit. They'll just tell you whatever they want to hear so you can sign up. They've never done it. I mean, we got people that were like, they're like, well, my dad was in the wine business. I'm like, wine? Like, when you grew up poor as shit like me, my mom drank box wine. But I thought all wine came in a box, just so you know. So we lived in our little one-bedroom apartment, my mom, and it would stick to the bottom of the fridge. She'd get a box of wine because I didn't realize it's really, 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 really cheap. And she would, oh, you take the little thing and it puts the wine, but it's like dirt cheap, bottom of the barrel, terrible wine. So I always thought that wine came in a box because we didn't go to restaurants. Back then there wasn't social media. I just assumed. So, and I'm not trying to be funny, but all these people, like, I worked really hard, but then so-and-so gave me millions of dollars to start my business. Like, they don't know. So before you start asking people for advice, start asking yourself, have they walked in the shoes that you're in now? And you're about to ask them advice about walking in those shoes. And if they've not walked in those shoes, then they need to stay the fuck out of your way because they don't know the truth. They don't know the answer. They've not been there. What I can tell you is when I got out of college, I got a job. I got my real estate license too, but I got a job. If I had to do it all over again, would I do it differently? I don't think so. Do I think it inhibited my ability to make money as a businessman? No, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know that I knew enough to go, I didn't have access to any funds. I didn't make money. I had to learn. I had to work really, really hard. But I do know that everybody's journey is different. So I'm not saying because my journey worked out really well for me that your journey should be my journey. I'm just going to tell you what it looks like when you're making that decision. And also for those of you that are advising people that are making that decision. Because a lot of times you're like, I close my eyes and go, yeah, just do it. And it's like, dude, have a discussion with people. You want to lead people? Give them advice and information that's good for them. The minute it's about you and only you, eventually you'll be a dude going for a walk because ain't nobody following you. The guy said to me the other day, he goes, I've been leading for a while. I said, you've been walking for a while. Ain't nobody following your ass, dude. I see him. You're just a guy taking a walk. Leaders are you're out there forging the way, you're busting your ass, you're doing exactly what you're asking them to do, and you're going at it every single day, working your ass off. Dudes going for a walk, guys that are not doing any of that, but think that because they're like a positional leader, right? I have a certain title, I get to go ahead and be. No, it don't work that way here. So you have to understand that if you're in a job right now, first of all, if you're not making money right now, get a job. If you're not making money right now, get a job. Job's the easiest way for you to. No, the easiest way for me to start making money, Shawn, is that no, dude, you're not making money. If you're not making any money in your business, I don't want to do these air quotes the entire time, but in your business, and I'm saying I'm using that term loosely, it's a business if it's deriving a profit for other people or you or both. If it is not a business. It's an activity. Now, you have to decide how long you can do that activity until it becomes a business. Are you gaining traction? Are you making headway? Do you see the results coming? Will you get there? You got to answer that. Nobody else can answer that but you. You have to answer that for you. But you've got to decide, can I get there? Can I be successful doing this? So I'm just telling you, anytime I wasn't making money, I got a job. It's what I did. It wasn't complicated. I needed money. I go to police academy when I'm young. I'm crazy out of control, way too just disruptive to be in there, run around like I think it's a movie. Like, that's what we do. We tackle everybody. We do this. That's not remotely true. It wasn't remotely for me. When I was at the police academy on a Friday, I was cutting lawns on Saturday, a landscaping company, 21 years old. Like, I wasn't waiting for a job. Then 2 weeks later, I got my job with abused and neglected children, working Department of Children and Families. That was my job, social worker. Boom, started that job. Worked landscape until the day I started. Like, I always had a job. And then I became an independent contractor in addition to my job. If you're thinking about leaving your job today, I am a huge fan of you pursuing anything you want to pursue. But I do not believe, unlike others that will try to sell you shit, I believe everybody can be successful as a business person, salesperson, as long as you're in a lead-based sales position, but I do not believe everybody will be. I believe everybody has the ability to because it requires no ability. But I do not believe that the vast majority of the people will do what it takes, will fight hard enough to do it, have the intestinal fortitude to do it, and I think they'll just quit. That's what I think. So you got to know you first. You know you better than anybody else. If when it gets bad, you quit, don't quit your job. Keep it. If you don't like the ups and downs and you are required to have this consistency in your life, you could never take a swing of, I made $3,000 today, nothing for 4 days, nothing for 5 days. Man, I just made 2. Wow, I didn't get paid for 5. Then I got paid 6 in a day. If you can't take that, do not become an independent contractor. Keep your job. Now, you can keep your job and do something entrepreneurial. That, I think, is the best way for everybody to start. Other people that mommy and daddy had money and gave it to them will tell you should quit your job because they ain't never had a job. They don't know what it's like to work your ass off to pay rent. They don't know what it's like to work your ass off to go to the grocery store and go, can I get ramen noodles, corned beef hash, or is it a good week? Can I get both? Can I get both of those? Like, they don't know. You can't take their advice. I think the rite of passage to being successful as a business person for those of us that don't come from any money is I'm going to work my ass off in my job. I'm going to work my ass off in my independent sales, business, owner, entrepreneur. I'm going to do both of those, and it'll be the hardest I work in my life because I have 2 things going on. And then once I leave my job, which we're going to talk about, I'm going to work as hard as I was when I had 2, when I have 1. The issue for 99% of people is they get their job, They start selling a product. They start doing something. They work whatever. They're working a business. They launch a business, and they've never worked harder. And that's six months, a year, 2, 5, 10 years. And then they're like, man, I'm making $1 million a year, $800,000 a year. I don't need my job. I put money away. I can take care of benefits. I'm not worried about that shit. I'm good. And then they get in doing this, and they don't work as hard as they were working. It's like, dude, you already working 50, 60 hours a week. Why don't you just keep doing that? No, I'm a businessman now. I work 20, 30, bro. I'm going to work 10. I'll do nothing else. So that's where most people fail. How much money should you have put away when you leave your job? I don't know. I love when people ask these questions, and then people answer them. You need to have exactly 2 months. And dude, you don't know that. I can live on nothing. Nothing. I don't now, but I could. Nothing. Some people can't do that. They can't. They're not wired that way. They need to make X amount. They need to sell it. They can't do it. So until it's time to go out and fight. So I hope this episode helped, because I kind of answered it before I started your question. Just serve FFL. Thanks, Shawn. Needed this morning. You're welcome. Rich Towsley, excellent as usual, sir. Thank you, Rich. I appreciate it. And this is my man trying to sell me some video editing. Are you? Do you already have a video editor? If I have not, do you mind having a video editor? No, I got one, dude, and I appreciate you asking. I really do. But that's the stuff you should be doing, dude. You don't get there's no credit. Try. Keep asking. Keep pushing. Keep talking to people. Making comments. And you never know what they're going to say. Put yourself out there. I love that, bro. I got one, so you don't need to keep asking me. But, keep DMing people. Keep reaching out to them. Keep doing the videos and showing them what you can do. Maybe you go, hey, here's my work. If you know somebody else, Shawn, and maybe it's not, some other people that might need a video editor. Here's what I do. What's your difference? That's the other thing. Y'all send me these DMs. Give me in 2 or 3 sentences what makes you different. Y'all do the same stuff. Hey, man, I might just pick you as a video editor. Anybody. But it's like, hey, man, typically this the work people do and what they charge is what I do and what I charge. Give me something different. Why you? There's a million dudes sending DMs going, here's the, but why you? You want to start something and stay motivated? Disrupt the market, disrupt what you're doing. Tell people why you're different and why they should work with you. I hope this episode helped. Appreciate y'all. See you next week and Pick Money, the podcast. You got to know who you are. Now, when I did it, I made sure I had 3 or 4 months minimally of all my, enough money to pay all my bills. If I didn't make any money in my business, I felt comfortable. That's how I felt comfortable. It's what I did. I was like, as long as I get this money, I don't need it. I'm paying my bills over here, leaving my job. I could not make money for 3 or 4 months and be good. Life is good. And I was making money right away. And I already made money in my business anyway while I was working the job, so I felt pretty good about it. I took a long time to do it, but some people may you should have done it quicker. It's worked out really well for me. But you have to understand your own journey. But I will tell you this, for those of you that are giving people advice, you have to understand their threshold for risk, their threshold for being let down, their threshold for the inconsistency of income. What makes entrepreneurship beautiful in its truest sense of the form is most people will never and can never do it. Everybody could. They just won't try it. And once they get in, it's not talent. They could do it. They're like, dude, this is a lot of work. Yep. Man, it's ups and downs. Yep. I'll tell people all the time. If I can play Go Fish or Texas Hold'em, I'm going to play Texas Hold'em. I'm not playing Go Fish. I'm not mad at you you got any sevens, go fish. I'm not doing that. But there's nothing wrong with that. People love that game. I want this one. I want the juice. I'm all in. I want that game. I want it in the game of life. I want it in my business when I can make good, intelligent decisions. So you really need to make sure when you're advising people, figure out where they are. And a lot of times I work with people that have had their jobs for 10, 15 years. I work with people that work with me for 10 minutes and quit their job. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And really what a lot of people say to me is, dude, I don't make any money doing that anyway. I can always get that job back. Okay. But that is your decision. Your decision. When somebody screams and goes, what's wrong with you? You should have quit your job already. That's your decision. Because on Thursday night, at 11:55 p.m. after a week, if your sales week goes Thursday to Thursday, you didn't have the week you wanted to, you didn't make any sales, and you're stressed about paying your bills, you can't call that dude from social media to talk to you. He ain't going to talk to you. He just told you to quit your job because it sounds aggressively cool, and you should quit your mother effing job, and you should do it tomorrow. You know you. When it gets hard, what will you do? If you'll push through it, if you're going to be an adult about it, if you're going to have some other freaking intestinal fortitude and work your ass off, if you got grit about you and you got some grind, yeah, dude, that'll work. But if you tend to be negative, you like to be down and complain about it, convince yourself it's not going to work, shit, I'd be careful becoming an independent contractor. So there's a lot to think about as you start your entrepreneurial journey to become a business owner. As I'm talking to operators, most of y'all are operators. Whether you're running a video editing company, whether you're launching a branding company on social media, whether you're in sales, whether you're in retail, you're doing something that's been done for decades. Decades. People have been doing this for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Some newer, some of the social media stuff, but there's tons of people out there doing it. You didn't create a product. You can create a product and chill. Good attorneys, patent, trademark, licensing, you can do that. But operators, we're operators. We're working in industries that already exist. Maybe we tweak some things about the industry and things we do, and we become a businessman or businesswoman. It's a wide open opportunity. But for us, it's a lot of freaking grind. And that's what makes it beautiful, And I hope that you participate in it on whatever level you're comfortable with. But guess what, dude? You better take your own advice. Because when shit hits the fan, the only person you got to talk to is you. All right. Couple comments, questions. These names are funny. Sleazy Stevie. Spot on as usual, Shawn. Proud to be part of the family, brother. Brennan Kimberling. I struggle with taking control and telling clients what to do. I'm too polite. Yeah, just tell them what to do. It's also not polite to not protect people when they ask for a product. So I think I appreciate your transparency, because if you're too nice, you're kind of going to be taken for weakness, and people are just going to tell you no. Elijah HW 4989. Shawn, what's up, man? Your videos help tremendously with mindset and closing. I'm in the roofing and siding business. Can you also share some real life stories about your experience doing that type of sale? The little nuggets you drop about moving the sale forward in insurance, I'm sure help those guys out more than you think. You do the same for home improvement. Yeah, dude, I was home improvement sales for a long time. And honestly, man, it was all in Connecticut. So with the way roofs done in Florida now, very different with the way the roofs are done here. My deal was always, first of all, if you just got your windows done, you just got your roof done, dude, and I was door to door, so that was exhausting because you didn't know. If you had gotten them done, you got them done, right? But for me, a lot of people, one of the things, I was very presumptive, right? Like, Tom, is this your biggest asset? Yes, it is. Tom, how long y'all lived here? It's a beautiful home. Tom, let me ask you something. Your roof is original. We're coming up on X amount of years. Have you had somebody look at it? No, I haven't. What would hurt? Walk me through, Tom, what the negative repercussions of us checking your roof out would be. I mean, I'm just trying to help me understand. If we looked at your windows and we did, how would that hurt? Tom, it's Connecticut, it gets cold. What if we could do this with your heating bill? What if we could, and again, there's a lot more to it based on the product and the whole deal. But my deal was what do you have to lose? Why not let me get you a quote to help you improve this home, save you money, and ensure we're not coming out here one day and you got Service Master here because there's water dripping down these walls and we got mold in the house, right? We have to protect the greatest asset you got. The greatest asset you really have is your family that lives, and the greatest material asset, you could argue liability depends on the mortgage, but asset, you're going to hopefully get to that point where you make these payments and you're on the right side of it in your home. So it was just here's what we're going to do. So here's what we're going to do. I'll get my guys out here. We'll do this in the roof. We'll do the measurements. And nowadays it's different. We didn't have laser and Google Earth. We couldn't tell you how many squares it was right on the spot and tell you how much it was. So we had to get up there and do our deal, or at least get a look at it. I was just huge on getting my guys out there and then being able to go, hey, here's what we're going to do. So here's what we're going to do. The roof is only this much. You have this many years left. Here's how much wear and tear you got on it. You're going to replace it eventually anyway. Let's replace it before there's damage. Here's what's happening in the windows. Here's your heat loss. Here's what's happening with that. Look at what you're losing from a drafting standpoint. Like, dude, I was crazy presumptive, just like I am insurance. Meldon Torino. Oh, my God. Love it. You teach and give more advice than my manager. Thank you, sir. I like to give advice because I've actually been doing this. Appreciate you. Seattle Shakedown. Been tuning in more to this and getting sharper and making more money, especially with building professional rapport. Glad it's helping you, bro. Henry Houdre. Definitely going to be more, quote, respectfully forceful, unquote, in my approach. What changes, if any, would you make in a B2B versus B2C context? Thank you for the invaluable world-class content. Dude, it depends on what business to business you're talking about, right? I'm still going to tell all y'all, I think B2B, B2C, I need leads. I think one of the biggest things that's happened in our industry right now, in any industry, in America, I should say in our country, is too many people are holding on to trying to make sales without leads. I just think with social media, the lead gen business is so amazing. And if you have a product that leads can't be generated for, you ain't got that good a product. That means the desire is not there. That means the supply is not, the demand rather is not what you think it is. Because if you can't create leads through social media, you ain't got that many people to want your product. So I always tell people, go through a social media campaign. There's plenty of lead gen guys I can give you. Pitch them on the product, walk them through it, and see what your lead acquisition cost is going to be. If it's above X, you ain't got demand for your product. And if you don't have a demand for your product, that's dangerous. So I think, it's the same, honestly, if I have a lead. If I have businesses that are like, hey, I do professional cleaning for commercial buildings. I'm in commercial buildings, and we generate leads, and I get to go to your office. I'm the same. And, hey, here's what I do know. Client or business, what makes you different? Why you? Why not them? You can't come to me with the same bullshit. Why you? Why not them? Because it's why you, but also why not them? What sets you apart? How are you disrupting this market? Why should I be in business with you and not them? Appreciate y'all for jumping on. See y'all at the same time, same place next week on Pick Money, the podcast. Comments, questions, send more, please. I'd love to answer more of your questions, help out any way I can. Sometimes I don't know what you want to know. Ask me so I know what you want to know and I can talk about it.